What's going on, YouTube? Today is Thursday, August 1st, 2019. Sorry, I'm watching the game here. Broncos are looking pretty not too good. It's kind of a rough time to be a Broncos fan, but that's okay. All right, well, a couple of things. I mean, I showed you guys recently some stuff I picked up from the Toy Pimp, but I have to be honest with everybody here. I will be on a hiatus. I think there's a really good chance this is going to be the last video for a while, so just have some things happening, and I'm just not going to be able to to be too involved in the hobby for right now. So, anyways, all right, good D. Sorry, I'm watching the game. Okay, so this is pretty much by request here. This is a 3D printed car from Shapeways. It is 1:64 scale. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it. I'm going to do a quick Google search here because I forgot the year. Oh, come on. I don't know the year. I'm pretty sure it's a Buick Electra. Oh, I think maybe that's what I did. All right, let's try this. That looks about right. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 1970. Shoot, I don't know, guys. It's not my car. I know it's a Buick Electra. It's from I think the mid 1970s. But it's a 3D printed plastic car from Shapeways. Actually, let me be a little bit more specific on that. So, diecast jet. It's not for sale. He wanted me to make that clear. It was purchased from Mad About Cars on the Shapeways site. So it's a plastic 3D printed deal. And the thing with 1:64 scale 3D printed stuff is that typically the 3D printed stuff that you find is going to be stuff that is not in production or never has been in production. Like this, for example, is a car that none of the brands have ever done. No Johnny Lightning, M2, Auto World, Greenlight, even Hot Wheels, Matchbox, nobody's ever done it. And there are some people that are 3D printing certain cars just to get some kind of example of it. Now, here's the thing. If you have ever seen a 3D printed 1:64 scale car, it's usually a hunk of plastic. You know, you can see the sculpted detail, but they're usually not that great. But if you know somebody, or if you yourself has a steady hand and the ability to put a nice paint job on it, then this is what you can get. Now, this was finished in a stock colorway with I'm not sure the exact color, but it's a really nice metallic blue with a navy blue vinyl top. This was done by Boogie '07 Customs. I think that's his moniker. You guys know who he is. He's the same guy that did my Lexus. Actually, what happened was I got the Lexus, and with the Toy Pimp being a JDM enthusiast, I was over at his house, and knowing that I was going over there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this over there and show it to him. And he liked it. He's like, wow, that's actually really good. And then he bought a handful of these type of cars, and he's like, hey, see if he'll put a nice paint job on this car. And so I took this one. This is the first one he wanted to do, and I took some pictures of it, sent it off to Boogie Customs, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and send it. I'll get it done for you. You know, I don't think he had ever done a 3D printed car, so he had some concerns about it, which is understandable. Because depending on the material, you know, if it's a resin, then you want to be careful because you don't know how it's going to affect. You don't know how the resin is going to react to the paint and the thinner and the primer and all that good stuff, depending on what you're using. This particular guy has a spray gun, so it's not like a rattle can. I do have a picture here, and that's what it looked like before the paint job. He did put some primer on it, and he did a little bit of sanding at that point. But you got to be really careful sanding these because you can sand the detail out of it. And here's a look at the base. The wheels are part of the print. So they're not independent of the car. So it doesn't roll. It's a static display. The wheels, the tires, the car, it's all one piece. So there are no multiple pieces. It's not like M2 where it's made of 36 pieces of junk. It's just one piece, and then, you know, the detail that you give it is the detail that it has. But typically with these cars, the sculpted detail is pretty high quality. In fact, from this distance, to me, this looks about what I would expect an Auto World to look like. If Auto World were to cast this car, I would guess it would probably look pretty similar to this as far as the level of sculpted detail and the level of painted detail. But because it's all one piece, there are no windows, so the windows have to be painted black, unless you want to take the time to cut them out. But then if you do that, you don't have an interior. I guess theoretically you could cut the wheels out and put axles in there and install wheels. And I understand it that there are some people that are printing 3D cars that are configured to take wheels and tires and axles so that you can, you know, because there's a whole market right now for wheels and tires for 1/64 scale cars. And that whole market has just started in the last 5 years since I've started collecting. When I started collecting, it didn't exist. It was all people would drill real riders off of Hot Wheels, and that was the market. But now, because of the popularity in Auto World and Greenlight and all the premium brands, there are some really nice secondhand or secondary market wheels for 1/64 scale cars. So for somebody that wanted to, you could cut out the wheel wells and the wheels, and you could install an axle and do it that way. But for a static display, this looks, in my opinion, it looks great. I do notice, though, you'll notice the front passenger tire is not flush on the street. So I don't know if it came that way. It's possible that it came that way. It's also possible that the paint warped it a little bit. I think it's probably more likely that it came that way. It almost looks like the way this is printed that it has to be, Yeah, I really don't know. I really just don't know enough about it. I don't want to handle it. Excuse me. I really don't want to handle it too much, um, because it's just not good for the paint. But there are a couple of noticeable paint. Um, I don't want to say paint flaws, but like right here, you can see the spiral effect. That's part of the printing, and then that's just the way that it took the paint. Now the problem is that you can try to sand that out of it, but typically, depending on the material and how the print goes, that can go pretty deep into the casting, and at some point you're going to have to stop sanding, or you're going to sand off all of the detail. So it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that noticeable. There's also a line back on the trunk. But other than those two things, I think it looks great. I think he did a great job on the front and rear bumpers with the headlights and the tail lights. And overall, I just think the car looks great. So I posted a few pictures on Instagram, and a lot of people commenting and wanting to see it on video. So that's it. I just wanted to feature it. So again, this car belongs to the Toy Pimp. It was customized by Boogie Customs. I facilitated the whole thing, and so that's why it came back to me. I'm gonna take it over to the Toy Pimp's house, hopefully this weekend, because I don't know. I have so much stuff that's going on that I'm gonna be so busy for the next probably 3 weeks, and I don't know if I'm gonna find time. So yeah, probably this weekend I'll head up there and drop it off. But really cool. It's something that I've never even thought about getting into as a collector. I'm always looking for oddball type stuff that there's not a lot of, and this is one of those cars. This, as you're looking at it here, this is a true one of a kind. There's not another one like it anywhere in the world that exists. The casting, the printing does exist. There are others, and I'm sure there are some other people that have put some nice paint jobs and details on them. But I think it's a safe bet to say that there's not another one that looks anything like this. So pretty cool little piece here. And I sent Jeff some pictures of his car, and he seems to like it. So it's got a great stance. It's a cool looking car. Anyways, maybe these pictures will make their way back to the powers that be at Auto World, and maybe they will step their game up. Although, honestly, I would like to see them either go import, non-Volkswagen import, or 1980s domestic. So, anyways, that's it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, if you see anything on Instagram that I have posted and you're interested in purchasing it, send me a DM. Certain cars like this will not be for sale. The Lexus will not be for sale, but there might be some other stuff on there that I might be willing to part with. I'm not really looking to sell individual cars, but if there's a group of cars that you're interested in, I would likely consider putting something together. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Shapeways.com, I think, is the website. It's the way that I understand it, it's like the Etsy for 3D printed 1:64 scale cars. There are quite a few different models on there that you can get. So the price range, I honestly don't have a clue. I want to say maybe 20 to 30 in that range. So by the time you send it to someone to have it done like this, you're probably looking in that 60 to 70 price range. So, you know, it's definitely a cost, but you end up with a true one of a kind piece. And if you have the ability to do it yourself, that, you know, save yourself a lot of money. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I don't know when I'll be back, but I will see you when I see you. You guys all take care. If you need to contact me, just contact me on Instagram. Please continue to watch the videos because, you know, the views are nice. And we'll see where things go here in the next month or so. And I'm sure at some point I'll be back on. So you guys take care and go Broncos. I will holler at the next video, whenever it may be.